children, now we shall study about one of the important phenomena of light, that is property of light called the reflection of light. This is not something new to you, you have already studied about it in the lower class. So what is reflection of light? I already said you, it is the light, this light energy which is enabling us to see the things around us. We are able to see the beautiful world around us only due to the presence of light. So, whenever you are seeing any object, the light will fall on the light and that ray of light will get reflected back and fall into the eyes, and hence you can see the image of the object formed, so that the process of reflection is taking place. So what actually happening there we shall study in detail under the concept reflection of light. So for that we shall consider a highly polished surface. We shall make the light to fall on a highly polished surface. Which is that highly polished surface? Means best example are the mirrors, children. Mirrors are the best example for the highly polished surface. You all know that one side of the mirror will be silvered or polished, which is making the light to reflect back, and hence you can see the image of yours in the mirror when you stand right in front of the mirror. Now, for that I should consider a reflecting surface. Why I should consider reflecting surface? Because see, now if I want to make the light, imagine this chalk is the torch now. Imagine my hand is the, I want the light from the torch to make to fall on my hand. So this hand itself will become the reflecting surface. See, now imagine this mirror is kept as a reflecting surface. So if I hold the mirror as reflecting surface, this part of my hand we will consider as the mirror. So if I'm holding like this, I can see my face, you imagine. Back part of the mirror, that is this part of my hand, is silvered or polished, we shall imagine. So whenever you write the reflecting surface, that too when you consider the plane mirrors or in future the spherical mirrors, children, you should show that one of the side is silvered or polished, which is very important when you draw the figure. So I have considered here the reflecting surface XY, and one part of the mirror, either you can draw lines like this or even shade, it is up to you. But you have to either represent in one of the form. Why means this shows the shaded portion or polished, shaded enough in the polished is the right word, children. Polished surface of the mirror, highly polished surface of the mirror is shown on one part of the reflecting surface. So this above the line XY or the reflecting surface XY is available for the process of reflection, whereas below the line XY the region or the space is not available for the process of reflection. Not available means it will not say I will not reflect light. What is happening here is, children, it will not allow the light to reflect and go back. That is why it is non-reflecting surface. Whereas this upper part of the mirror, which is not silvered, will reflect back the light. That is the only difference here. Okay. So first thing is, draw any reflecting surface, label anything of your choice, and one of the side you should show shaded or draw lines or whatever you want you do in order to show it is silvered or polished. Next what we shall do is, when imagine I am allowing the light to fall from the torch. A torch of light I am holding, and light is, I am allowing the light. It is not like only one ray of light will come and fall on the mirror. If you stand right in front of the mirror, children, only your nose will be seen, only your eyes will be seen. No, your complete body you can see in the mirror, isn't it? It is because the light is falling. In whichever part of your body the light is falling, that part of your body you can see. So here also, when such light, now if now we have the beautiful sunlight now, it is a bright day. So when I go stand in front of the mirror, I can see myself. The complete light is falling on the mirror. There will be many rays of light coming from the source of light which is incident or which is falling on the mirror. Among so many rays, we will consider one ray of light, a single ray of light which is falling on the mirror and which makes an angle 90 degree with the reflecting surface. Or you can say a ray which is falling straight, a ray which is straightly falling on the mirror is considered as the normal ray. This normal ray is the reference ray in order to mention the incident as well as the reflected rays of light, children. So normal ray is very important. What is normal ray? What is a normal ray means? It is the ray of light coming from the source which is exactly falling in the straight line on the reflecting surface, or which is at 90 degree on the reflecting surface also you can say. That is normal ray. This normal ray is the reference ray. Among many rays of light which is falling from the source, we consider one ray of light which is falling exactly at 90 degree or straight line on the reflecting surface. And one more ray of light you will be considering as the incident ray of light. For normal ray, children, you need not mention the direction, or you want you can mention it, no problem. Now for incident ray means, you know, you have studied in lower classes, incident ray, reflected ray, normal ray, everything. Incident ray means which is incident upon it. So it is falling towards the mirror. As I said, you mentioning direction of light is very, very important, children. So without arrow mark, if you write, it is meaningless. Now there is an incident ray which is falling on the mirror, and in which direction it is falling I have shown here with the help of arrow mark. So this ray of light is falling on the mirror, and after touching the surface of the mirror, it will reflect back. It will reflect back in this direction. So the ray of light which is falling on the mirror is called incident ray. And after the process of reflection, the ray of light which comes out of the mirror is called reflected ray. Incident ray, reflected ray and normal ray are the three rays what we are studying here. So the light coming from the source will fall on the mirror, and that ray of light is called the incident ray of light. After falling on the mirror, the light will undergo the process of reflection. So this ray what is coming out, the light what is coming out of the mirror is called the reflected ray. Why? Because it is getting reflected back and falling into our eyes. It is falling into our eyes. Hence it is called reflected ray. Incident ray, normal ray and reflected ray. I am telling you again, arrow marks are very important. This incident ray of light will make an angle, with this normal ray, and it is represented by small letter I. It is represented by small letter I, and it is called the angle of incidence. Angle of incidence. What is angle of incidence? The angle made by the incident ray with the normal is called the angle of incidence. Similarly, the angle made by the reflected ray with the normal ray is called angle of reflection, which is represented by small letter r. Don't change the notations. Why am I compelling you is I, R, small letters only should be used. R is called angle of reflection. Angle of incidence, angle of reflection. What is angle of reflection? That is the angle made by the reflected ray with the normal is called angle of reflection. The angle made by the incident ray with the normal is called the angle of incidence. So this is about the process of reflection. Due to this process of reflection itself, we are able to see the things around us, children. So, after studying about this process of reflection, we shall now study the laws of reflection, which is very, very important. Now we have knowledge of what is angle of incidence and what is angle of reflection. that itself becomes the first law under laws of reflection. The laws of reflection says that, first point says that the angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. This is the first law under laws of reflection. The angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. In mathematics, how do we represent the angle, children? This way. Yes, no? So, how do we represent angle of incidence? I. How do we represent angle of reflection? R. Small letters, of course. So, the first point under laws of reflection states that the angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection, that is I is equal to R. Second point says that the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal ray, also you can write, and the normal ray all lie on the same plane is the second point. Now you can see, if you look at the figure, incident ray, normal ray, reflected ray, all the three rays are present on the same side of the reflecting surface xy, isn't it? So that becomes the second point, that is the incident ray, the normal ray and the reflected ray all lie on the same plane. It is not like reflected rays going somewhere there, coming from below, no. They all are lying on the same plane, children. So these are the two main points which you will have to remember in order to state the laws of reflection. This is also a repeatedly asked question in your exam. State the laws of reflection. In that case, you will have to draw the figure, show the normal ray, incident ray, reflected ray, mark the angle of incidence and angle of reflection, and say that the first point says the angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. The incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal ray drawn all lie on the same plane. Here, the angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection, that is the first point. What does it mean children? When you are making the source of light, or the light coming from source to fall on any reflecting surface, it may be incident at any angle. We cannot, so now if I give you a torch and allow the light to fall on the floor and tell me mark the angle, means can you? Yes, you can. There is some procedures for that. But of course, similarly, if you simply tell you, give the torch and how many angles it is, how many degrees it is, can you say? No, you cannot. So maybe some say some 30 degree. You made the light to be incident at some angle of incidence. 30 degree means that path will be there now, which is falling on the floor. When the light touches the floor and reflect back and fall into your eyes, children, that ray will be also, the reflected ray, also reflected angle will also be equal to 30 degree. That is what we mean by saying angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. It is not like single rays coming, as I said you already. One more ray may be there, this may be ray. Again, reflected ray also may be many rays of light, beam of light, I said you beam of light. So, we have considered only one particular ray of light to explain or to understand the concept ashte. Okay, now there will be many other rays of incident and reflected rays will be present, but normal ray only one, which is falling straight on the reflecting surface, that we are considering. So children, if this incident ray is making 30 degree, this may make 40 degree, this may make 60 degree, this may make 45 degree. So whatever the angle of incidence or whatever angle the incident ray is falling, the angle of reflection also will be same. How interesting, So this is about the laws of reflection. So here we were talking about the plane mirror. When you make the light to fall on any object, children. So we are telling the word object, we are using the word object here. Suppose say this piece of chalk. So this is the object. Now the sunlight is falling, daytime, no, so no other source of light is required. The sunlight is falling, and that ray of light is falling onto my retina, that is onto my eyes, and I am able to recognize this as a piece of chalk. So the image will be formed on the retina of my eyes, whereas this chalk is the object. So I am telling you the concept of object and image. Similarly, when you stand right in front of the mirror, now you are the object. What you see in the mirror? Your image you see. So you are the object, the light is falling on you and upon the mirror, and from the mirror the light is reflecting back and falling onto your eyes, and hence you can see your image formed right in front of the mirror. So, hope you understood which is object and what is image now. You have the rear view mirrors in your vehicles. What you can see, now the lorry will be coming behind you. The lorry will be huge in size, that is the object. But when you see in the mirror, the complete lorry will be seen. Yes, no, not only the headlight, or not only the driver face, or not on the steering of the lorry. You can see the whole lorry as it is. So that is the image of the lorry what you can see. It will be minimized. Why? All that I will explain you. In types of convex, concave mirror, when you study, you will understand all that. Why the bigger lorry is appearing so small in your rear view mirror of the vehicles. You will understand all that concepts, children. So the image of that lorry is formed in the rear view mirror of your car or any vehicle it may be. So lorry is the object, but you can see the image there. Best example is mirror. Of course, you can see yourself in the mirror. So that is you can see your image in the mirror. So in case of plane mirrors, when we talk, children, the image so formed will be having its own properties. What are they? We shall study one by one. The image formed by plane mirror are virtual and erect. Virtual and erect. Virtual may be something new to you, but erect, you know, erect means straight. So it will be straight. Virtual means, and one more thing I will tell you, erect means straight. Ulta of that is inverted. So the image formed, there will be few nature of the image formed you will be studying, whether it is erecta, inverted. Andre, when you are seeing yourself, you straight kantira, ulta kantira. Erect, the image may be erect or inverted, and the image may be real and virtual. Image can be real and virtual, andre children. Real images and virtual images, andre. Real images can be caught on the screen, whereas virtual images cannot be caught on the screen ಅನ್ನೋ concept ಇದೆ. So, which is not real. Now, when you see yourself right in front of the mirror, it is not you, but your image, that is virtual image you can see. So, and you look erect, you do not look inverted in the mirror. So, the image formed is virtual, means not real image. Virtual image and erect image you can see. In further, when we study in this lesson, children, you will be studying cases where you see real and inverted images as well. That time I will explain you. Second point is, size of the image is equal to size of the object. So, of course, when you are standing in front of the mirror, whatever your size, if you are tall, you doesn't look short. If you are short, you won't look tall. Or if you are fat, you won't look thin. If you are thin, you won't look fat. As you are, you will be seen in the mirror. So, size of the image will always be equal to the size of the object. Who is object? You are object. What is image? The image is formed in the mirror. Size of the image is always equal to size of the object. Image is as far behind the mirror as the object is in front of it. Means what? How much ever distance you are maintaining from the mirror also you will be at the same distance. Yes, no? If I go close to the mirror, yes, even the image will come closer to me. If I go a step back, yes, the image also will move a step back from the mirror. Yes, no? That is what this point says. Next, the image is laterally inverted. Laterally means sideways inverted. Means you might have experienced it. No? If you lift your right hand, it seems as though you are lifting your left hand in the mirror. And if you suppose you are wearing sari and standing in front of the mirror, the pallu which I put on my left appears to be as though it is on the right side of me. Like this is called lateral reflection. You have studied about this in your lower class, yes, no? So the image formed is laterally inverted. Andre fully inverted andre eno children, full ulta agadu, fully inverted. Laterally andre sideways inverted, like right hand left hand I said, no. So all that is example for lateral inversion. So the image formed is laterally inverted. These points are very 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 important, which you will have to keep in mind. What is the nature of the image formed by the plane mirror? Means the images. So you need not try to understand something new I am studying by heart. No, don't do anything, simple. What are the characteristics of the image formed in plane mirror? Means just imagine yourself standing in the front of the mirror. What can you see? Yes, you can see your image. Are you looking inverted? No, you are erect. So image is erect. Is it a real image? No, it is virtual image. Your left to right hand, if you lift, it looks like as though you are lifting your left hand. So laterally inverted image is formed. And as far you are from the mirror, that much far or behind you will be in front of the mirror as well. Means as you step one step forward, the image also will come one step forward. As you go one step backward, image also will go one step. And the size of the image is equal to the size of the object. So these are the points which you will have to keep in mind when it comes to the concept of image formed by the plane mirror. So this is about the process of reflection of light. How do you define this process of reflection of light? Whenever a light coming from the source falls on any reflecting surface, some amount of light will reflect back and fall onto our eyes, which is making the things enabling us to see the things around us. This process is called reflection of light. How do you show it with the help of figure? Means draw the reflecting surface, plane mirror you consider, polish one of the side, the other part is available for process of reflection. So draw the normal ray, which is the straight line, which is the ray of light falling straight on the mirror, or which is making 90 degree antanu helbodu. Incident ray, reflected ray you will write, and incident and angle of incidence and angle of reflection you will mark. So this is about the process of reflection and its figure. Now what are the laws of reflection? Andre angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. The incident ray, the normal ray and the reflected ray all lie on the same plane. This is about the laws of reflection. What are the characteristics of the image formed by plane mirror? Andre it is always virtual and direct. Size of the image is equal to size of the object. Laterally inverted image is formed, and image is as far as behind the mirror as the object is in front of it. These are the points you will have to recall, children. So now we shall relate this process of reflection to the spherical mirrors. So here we consider the plane mirror. Yes, no flat surface we consider, means it is a plane mirror. But spherical mirror is not the plane mirror. How its surface will be? How the process of reflection take place in case of spherical mirror? Which are the types of spherical mirror? What are its properties? How the image is formed? All that we shall be discussing in the next session. Please read the textbook as you finish watching this video, children. Thank you.